They're trying to bankrupt us. The question is, will they succeed? So I'm going to share with you this here right quick. Reading my man, Conservative Treehouse, Sundance or the Conservative Treehouse. Fading industry in the West as energy policy consequences surface. The gray zone surge begins. At the beginning of my post-COVID economic research, I noted all the proactive investments by the big multinationals would benefit from a diminishment of Western economic dominance. Specifically, I noted that if you look at the investment footprint, where the multinationals actually put their money, they have been extracting from the Western consumers. You'll see that they have spent the past generation investing heavily in the gray zone, right here with the map below. While the reality, would the multinationals lose or benefit from the Build Back Better agenda that pushed the yellow zone into a system of forced drops of standard of living, which is exactly what's happening in Europe. Forced drops of standard of living. Not here yet. I think we could avoid it in the United States, but I'm not quite. It depends on who you vote for, man. Not that voting actually matters, if you know what I'm saying. I'm in Fulton County, Georgia. You get it. Still, at the end of the day, if Trump doesn't win, and even if he does, I don't know. If Trump might not be enough of a force to overcome the globalist elites. And we're not just talking about stupid, what's that guy from the World Economic Foundation, Soros. There's people above them who are pulling the strings, without question. But if Trump does win, at least he can arrest the downfall, which is what he did in 2016 for sure. If Kamala wins, all bets are off, dude. I mean, these guys got a free run. What are you going to do? You're going to freaking stand up to Kamala? You'll be in jail in 2 seconds flat, just like what's going on in Europe, dude. And freaking England, France right now is getting rid of Rumble. Brazil, they're getting rid of X. I mean, the dominoes are falling for free speech, free enterprise. Your standard of living is going down, all because of the stupidity of the Green New Deal and that there's a Nazi on every street corner. It's insane. All right, let's keep reading here. What you'll note from the post-COVID Build Back Better pushers, also not coincidentally, the same interests who pushed the Russian sanction regime, is that their investments in the gray zone act as an offset for the collateral damage that we are getting in the yellow zones. In essence, the multinationals created a win-win. Their Build Back Better policy within the yellow zone intentionally drives prices higher, while their investments were hedged, creating low total cost of goods manufacturing outside the West. So basically what they're saying is, hey, we're going to make it so hard for you to spend your money that your money goes less far as it used to because of inflation. But we, the globalists who control things, we get to offload our manufacturing to the gray zones, the Indias, the Chinas, the Vietnams, the Brazils of the world, and whatnot. I don't know if Brazil is one of them, but I'm just using that as an example. We get to offload that because we don't have to deal with those same inflations. We can actually decrease our total cost of goods sold and make more profits, even though while you suckers in the West are paying higher and higher costs. I mean, it's genius when you think about it. I previously said that we should watch the supply chain carefully because from an economic standpoint, we, the nationalists, would suffer while they, the multinationals, would not. All right, so let's read this from right here from Politico. And this is the article right here. And I just want to start with the very bottom, the very last thing here real quick. This is crazy. The very last sentence. Budget deficits are exploding in most economies, said an anxious EU diplomat. If the EU can't reduce energy prices, the welfare state is at stake. Military and defense capabilities are at stake. In short, we're screwed if we can't move fast enough. And why are they not moving fast enough? Deindustrialization is ongoing right now. We have about 2030. We can't last any longer. Why? Because check this out. Before the Ukraine war, the annual electricity bill for this company was about 80,000 pounds a year. It's nearly doubled since then. And managing director Christoph Kiem, son of the company's founder, a chemist who got a start after World War II, said they still haven't gone down. They've doubled since then. They doubled since the freaking war with Russia. Prices for customers rose while profit margins shrank. Eventually, costs receded, relief came, but those things didn't return to their pre-war level. Instead, Kiem entered a troubled new normal, where energy prices are double those of his overseas rivals. The reality is slowing eroding thousands of similar companies across Europe's industrial heartland. Germany has fallen into recession expected to extend through the year's end. Even global stalwarts like Volkswagen are staring at unprecedented plant closures. More broadly, across the EU, output from energy-intensive sectors like chemicals and steels is declining. Plants are shutting down. Industrial champions are announcing layoffs. EU steel production hit its lowest level in 2023 since 1960. Since 1960, when they started keeping records. The shock could not have come at a worse time. The steel industry is trying to strip carbon from its production, swapping out natural gas for either hydrogen or electric furnaces. Can you imagine? I mean, electric blast furnace. Those alternatives are vastly more energy intensive. Eurofer estimates that the required electrification equal to the total electricity use of Belgium twice over will double the steel sector's power consumption. Electricity is going to double the load. It's crazy, man. It's a particularly tough period for European steel. The pandemic put construction on halt for a while, reducing demand. Then came the energy shock. Meanwhile, Chinese overproduction made it hard to compete. Interesting. When energy prices shot up in 2022, the company had this is the company right here, and they make this right here. These guys, Hans Kiem and Kunststoffe, whatever it is. Check this out. Prices shot up in 2022. The company had to carefully go through its product line. Where it could have raised prices, some products didn't make economic sense anymore, and there had to be layoffs. As an industrial country, we needed electrical power at a reasonable price. If the price is too high, nobody will invest and nobody will buy. Right now, not enough people are doing either. German industrial production is in steady decline, is hovering around a 10-year low. BASF, the largest chemical producer in the world, has lost a third of its stock price. A major steel producer, ThyssenKrupp, has closed a plant and curtailing production. These industries are the building blocks of a modern society. Pharmaceuticals, microchips, water purification, cars. Nearly everything requires chemicals or steel. Right here. In the long run, it really brings into question Germany's position in the global industrial order. But others are suffering too. France, Italy. The EU has lost nearly 800,000 manufacturing jobs since the pandemic. Energy prices are a headwind. There is no good reason to produce certain things in Europe from a business perspective. And that's Europe. The question is, will it come here? And I find it funny right here. Check this out. While cheaper renewable energy is coming. Yeah, haven't heard that before. Haven't heard that. Even a stupid Mario Draghi says, I mean, this guy, these freaking EU guys, I cannot stand these people. Ursula von der Leyen, who is the head of the EU, I think, or something like that, and she said, she proclaimed her fealty to the vision of moving to clean energy production. She said the report's calls to massively invest in industries that help cut carbon and slash energy costs. Oh my goodness, we just have renewable energy that'll cut the carbon and slash energy. It's great. It's never happened, and it never will happen. It's impossible. These freaking people are so stupid, unless you go nuclear. But that's still going to be expensive, and it takes time to build. The build of the Clean Industrial Deal is part of von der Leyen's vow for the first 100 days of her second term atop the EC. It's crazy. Right here. Just check this out. Europe lacks adequate storage for excess energy. Well, welcome to the club there, guy. Everybody lacks adequate storage for excess energy. That's the problem. Until you get the battery solution, it's just so stupid. And they're doing this deliberately. Now, the question is, are they doing it as a way to punish Europe, or is it coming here in the United States? I really think a lot is riding on this election. If Trump loses, we're going to follow suit, man. There's no other way around that. Because these people hate their voters. They hate us. And look, I'm on Twitter. I'm just watching these like libertarians and these liberals and stuff. With the whole thing with Springfield, Ohio, they don't care about a white kid that was killed by a Haitian migrant. They don't care at all. All they care about sticking the nose, sticking it to the working people in Springfield, Ohio. Like, one guy's like, you guys aren't working. You're too lazy to work. As this guy's on Twitter, certainly working his butt off. You're too lazy to work. You're not doing anything. These migrants come in here, they do it all. It's like they have this animosity towards regular Americans. It's not just whites, it's black too. Just working people. People on Twitter, I'm like, you're not working. You're like me. You're sitting at home in the freaking climate-controlled office. You're not doing crap. And yet you're bashing Springfield, Ohioans and saying the migrants are working better than them? Well, yeah, for freaking $5 an hour, the Haitians are rich. Americans aren't rich. No one disputes that. That you're going to cheaper cost with migrant labor. The question is it sustainable? And what's it do to the native population? Freaking people. Crazy. But these people just hate it. They hate, obviously middle and lower income whites. I get that, but they hate all middle and lower income people. They do. They hate them like a passion. And they want you to punish. It's like the Republican Party hates its voters. The people who run the country hate the Americans. That's all there is to it. And it's disgusting to behold. But if Trump doesn't win, this is coming, man. It's just a fact. All right. Love your thoughts. God bless. Fondle. And if you don't like it, you can fondle the dislike button. It's all good.